Wait,
my God,
this
it's
means we
recording.
recorded. Got it.
There we go.
Oh my days. We're live, guys.
Welcome to the Cultured Race, Cultured Corner. No, joking. This is what I mean. As soon as I press record, it's like I get very nervous. But we've been having a conversation for how long now?
Being on FaceTime to you earlier, bless, everything's fine. This,
as soon as it gets to Zoom call, it's like
we're here to talk about confidence. I don't ascertain confidence right now.
Right? Okay, cool.
Okay.
So,
should we have like some affirmations before we start?
Yes, please. Okay. Which one should we start with? I've been doing a lot of. Okay, go on.
I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
Look at yourself when you say it though. I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
I am intelligent.
I am intelligent.
I am articulate.
I am articulate.
And I can't think.
I am limitless.
I'm limitless. I like that.
There's no limitations. They're all just in my head. Okay, cool. So that was a nice thing to get started. So this is the first episode of the Cultured Corner at Cultured Waste, where we speak about self-love and confidence and all things to do with self and positivity. Joining me today is Amy, one of the Cultured Waste ambassadors, who is just a delight to be around, even though I haven't actually been around you.
I know.
Spoken to you. It's actually so crazy.
That's actually nice. One day.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Don't know where to start. You know what? I figured it out the other day. I was talking to someone. She's so intelligent. She was like explaining how to, when you do small talk at a party and trying to introduce yourself and stuff, and then you never really know what to say, especially if you're not like working or if you're not studying or something. You're just kind of like figuring yourself out. But because I kind of dabble in a lot of different things, like I could just sit here and be like, oh, so tell me about yourself, Amy, and I'm just like, oh, so I do coding, I do this, I do that, like, do you know what I mean? It would take me long. So I'm a jack of all trades, basically.
That's cool. Do you know what I realized though? Whenever we ask someone to introduce themselves, they always start with like their job,
the name, age, or job or something. Yeah,
rather than I don't know, how would I introduce myself? I don't know, actually. That's really...
them questions when people ask you to describe yourself like in like 3 words or something. It's like I genuinely I could describe you like that. But
I'm actually gonna ask you to do that now. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Like a way. I'm a deep thinker.
I was just about to say intuitive. So just following your intuition always. Yeah.
I am. I don't know. This is really difficult. I know myself. But I don't,
No, I know what you mean. It's like, where do I start?
I'm a natural born leader. That's definitely something I've started to discover about myself recently. Like just being the eldest and everything as well. But like naturally, I kind of have to lead. If I'm not leading, I'm just not cut out to follow, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like a bit of everything. Hence the whole jack of all trades thing. Like I like studying. I like learning things. I don't know what word is like. What word would describe that? But I like learning. Yeah.
Do you know what? I can see that you'd be very adventurous. So you like trying new things, new experiences.
Yeah, like I went
all that stuff.
I do random stuff. Like I went hiking at like 2 a.m. Couple months, and then like I'm talking hiking. Like took a good couple hours to get up that hill. And then next day I'm like, I don't know, gaming hardcore like for like 6, 7, and 8 hours straight or something stupid. So like anything really, it's random. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the first question, which is, what is self-love to you? Like, what does that mean? How do you exercise that? Because we all hear, oh yeah, self-love, you have to love yourself and you have to put yourself first, but then how does someone even start that process?
I'd say,
Or how did you start that process?
okay, so I think self-love has the actual definition of it is not I don't know, as parallel with my definition of it, because I think my version of self-love is just taking it almost like day by day or like moment by moment sometimes. Like today, for example, just the littlest things can get to me in terms of give me anxiety or make me doubt my self-image or myself, like my self-image. So I'd say it's just kind of in a in the present moment, appreciating who you are. And when I say appreciating, I don't mean it lightly. I mean like in that present moment, you're genuinely taking in the positive things and your attributes, the qualities you have in that present moment. Because you can't really say that, oh, self-love. I think by definition, it'd be like just like having an all-round love of yourself. But I can't say happily that I love everything about myself. And that
Exactly. I
would
don't think
apply
anyone
all the
really can.
no, it's not physically possible. And it won't
So then
apply.
self-love and self-acceptance will definitely go hand in hand, because it's about, okay, I
Yeah,
love these things about myself. There's things that I don't really like, but it's me and they come from this experience, or this is why I am like that. So you can't really
yeah.
do anything
And
about
like
it until you face it.
you can't you can't kind of expect that you'll always love something about yourself. So that's why I say specifically the present moment, because in that present moment you might be able to find something even when you're feeling really really like crappy, and then you just kind of you have to lie to yourself to kind of like fake it to make it kind of thing. In that moment, I'm
Yeah.
sure you can find at least just one thing, like, oh, my eyelashes look fire today, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But everything else is messed up, but like just my eyelashes are fine. At
Yeah,
least like it's a part of yourself, isn't it? So if
it's
you're
true.
loving that, then it's something, yeah. I don't
It's
know,
coming
yeah.
from that place of gratitude when maybe you're not so happy with everything that's going on.
Yeah, yeah. Gratitude is definitely a massive part of it, because if you're not grateful for the way you're created and the way you like, I don't know, I couldn't say just the way you create, because people kind of go out of their way to like get to kind of recreate themselves with like, you know, added on
Yeah.
things like lip fillers and all that stuff. But if you're not grateful for the way you appear and the way you present yourself or the way you are, then how can you expect yourself to be happy with it or love it or appreciate it or anything? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, a massive part of it.
So you see, like, when obviously there's, I thought that I would get to a point in self-love where I never feel down, but obviously that's not realistic. So times when you feel down, how do you get back to that place of self-love?
Um,
Do you know what? The link that I just sent you to the YouTube interview was Corinne Fox, so Jamie Foxx's daughter, and she was talking about a well-being list that she's created over time of things that she likes to do or things that she realized helps her mental state and how she feels about herself.
yeah.
So I try to create my own list, and obviously on there I've got like working out how many times a week, meditation, reading, dancing, and everyone has their own kind of thing. So what would
Dancing,
you say you would
yeah. I'd say
do?
dancing just kind of like made me remember, like, I think what it is like there'll be like a whole couple of days where I'm just feeling like just like the scum of the earth and I can't even get out of bed or something. And then I'll
Yeah.
just kind of I'll get annoyed with myself so much that I'm like, okay, we need to like, you know, we need to feel better. So then I'll get annoyed. Like normally starts with like drill music. And then
Yeah.
it normally starts with drill music. And then eventually just music's playing, it's on shuffle, everything's going. And then I'll just be kind of vibing and I'll just be like running around my house like butt naked, just like twerking, giving it everything, dancing with my cat. And he's just
Yeah.
he's just there, just like what the heck's going on? But in that moment, like everything's okay because I'm free as it is. Like I'm genuinely like buttoning this, enjoying everything. I'll be in front of the mirror just looking at myself like, yes, go on. Do you know what I mean? So then that's probably the moment where it kind of clicks that I'm like, okay, why are you doubting yourself? Like you look like this now, no makeup, completely naked, and you feel like this now. Why can't you feel like that outside tomorrow when you're running your errands or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's when I myself up.
Just that space, you know, when you're alone, you can truly be yourself and you know, go crazy, go wild. I know what you mean.
It'd be hard to bring yourself back to you and like ground yourself almost when you're not in your own environment or a safe environment. If you're outside and you're trying to ground yourself, that's where I find it hard. Like when you kind of just start self-doubting. But yeah, definitely just a safe place in your own environment and just being like, just doing whatever makes you feel happy, whatever releases those endorphins and all of that. Is endorphins the right word? Dopamine?
I think so, yeah. Dopamine. Yeah. No, but endorphins still sounded right.
It was.
What was I going to say? The next thing that I wanted to ask you is about confidence. So how do you feel, what do you think confidence is to you? And then how do you exercise that? How do you use your confidence to like go after what you want and be who you want to be freely? Because, you know, there's so many things in life, in the world, that tells you can't do this and you can't do that. So people feel put in a box. But then obviously that confidence is saying, F the box. I just want to be myself.
Yeah. I don't know. Confidence. What is confidence? It'd be so much easier to describe what confidence isn't than what it is.
Okay, yeah, then do that. I mean, literally.
Like in those moments where I don't feel confident, like I'm outside, there's something about being outside for me, like out of my own environment and just around people that I don't know, especially when you're meeting someone new or you're in like a group or something that you're not that comfortable with them. And then you just kind of start doubting yourself, like, oh, is my outfit okay? How does my hair look? Why is my forehead so big? Like just the little things that creep up.
You see that? Why is my forehead so big? The other day, I'm doing my hair right now, and I was looking at my head, and I was like, I actually have a big head. Then I was like, hold on, no, I don't have a big. Then I was like, no, I don't have a big head, because if I was the only person in the world, who would I compare my head to?
Yeah.
So it's not big or small. Then I was like, actually, do you know what? It is a big head, but what does that mean? It doesn't make me any less smart. It doesn't make me any less beautiful.
Like, someone used to say to me, oh, just think of Rihanna when you think your head's big and everything. And I'm just like, okay, as much as that can help me in that little moment of like, oh, well, everyone loves off Rihanna, and her forehead's massive. So Tyra Banks and all that. So maybe I should be okay. No, at the end of the day, like if I'm looking in the mirror and I think I'm okay looking and I like the way I look, and if I can, I don't know, if in those moments where you can't self-validate yourself and you seek validation elsewhere and you get it, then why that one day is my forehead like big being a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
Like my forehead's big, but I've got a big ass brain, so somehow it's got to, you know, fit in there. Like that's what I tell myself. Like if it wasn't for the size of my head, but
and with that comparing thing though, obviously like you can compare yourself to someone who has a bigger head and you feel better, but then when you see someone with a smaller head, are you gonna feel worse?
You're gonna feel worse or better. Do you know what I mean? Like for real. But I've done like those, you remember back in the day when there's all those apps with like the body morphing and the face morphing and you can like proper edit stuff. I did something to one of my selfies or whatever, made my forehead small. It doesn't look right. I made my nose small, my forehead small, because I wanted lip fillers, I wanted a nose job, and I wanted my forehead retracted. And I looked at it and I was like, what is that? Like, it's not normal. like you're whether like I don't disagree with people that get lip fillers or face fillers or whatever to kind of make themselves feel better within themselves. I don't disagree with it at all. But I think even that's a creation. Like, you've added to the creation that was already there. So if you're not happy with the way you're created, then like, how can you be happy with anything else in like external life? Do you know what I mean? If you're not happy,
you're gonna keep on looking for more and more.
Exactly. Like, and that's natural. That's human nature. That's why like things like feeling confident or like self-validation and loving yourself, it's never going to be enough. You can't just one day come to a definition of, or that's the wrong word, come to like a point in time where you're just 100% happy. It won't happen. It's human nature to want more and to not be satisfied. So,
you know, I always like, I'm confident now and that's it. But there are still always going to be those days where I wake and I'm like, oh, I don't really feel that confident. But then it's about doing things to get into that frame of mind to feel confident.
It's a mindset. Like, I was talking to someone the other day, and they were explaining how in those moments where my anxiety is crippling in and I'm being socially awkward or whatever, all those moments where I'm out in the club and everyone's trying to approach me and talk to me, get my number, who's to say that what I believed at the time, like, oh, I'm in the club, everyone wants me, who's to say that's true? It was just a mindset that I created, that, oh, I'm in the club, I'm the baddest bee here, everyone wants me. But that might not be true. Everyone might be minding their business, thinking, who the heck, why are you walking so confidently? Do you know what I mean? So then it's the same with those moments where you doubt yourself. It's just a mindset. All you have to do is shift that mindset and change it into something positive. Next thing you know, you're feeling positive. Like, your mind has so much power. It just is
so much power. It's crazy.
Bewilders me.
So sometimes, when it comes to confidence and anxiety, like, I never thought that, obviously I have anxiety too. I never thought I could feel confident with anxiety because I just get so nervous about anything. Like, my brain would tell me, no, you can't do this. And then it's not until I'm in that frame of mind where I do feel confident and I'm like, why can't I do that? Of course I can. So obviously overcoming fear, but then how does that fear affect your confidence?
Fear affects your confidence simply because if you look at the science of it, your mind is creating irrational beliefs. Fear is false evidence appearing real, right? So your mind is grasping that information that you're receiving, that you've created to receive, So that's why I say everything is perception and perspective. If I'm choosing to perceive something in a way using my perspective of it and being like, okay, that woman is looking at me funny, it's because I'm ugly, then like that might be true, but I don't know it's true. I can't read her fucking mind. So at the end of the day, it's an irrational thought, it's an irrational belief. So that fear that creeps in because I'm believing that then creates an emotion which then makes me act a certain way which is not confident. Whereas the same way, if I look at someone and say, oh yeah, that guy wants me, that girl wants me, kind of thing, then again, that might be irrational and might not be true, but it's creating a positive effect on myself. So does it not make more sense to actively create more of those without going to the extreme of becoming like egotistical, but actively create those positive feelings, then actively allow yourself to easily just create those negative feelings through fear? Do you know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah, it makes sense. That's really good. I'm just soaking in everything that you said.
Sorry, I'm talking that stuff out.
Nah, don't be sorry. The last question was how to maintain self-belief. So obviously we kind of touched on that because it's about how to stay confident, and then obviously confidence makes you believe in yourself and you feel you can do anything and get over any fear. But then I really want to go into coming from a place of anxiety, because it's easy to, like, you know, when we're in a normal frame of mind, obviously we getting negative thoughts is natural, and it's just that we brush them away. But then what about when those negative thoughts actually feel like they have truth and we give power to them? How do we then say no and believe in ourselves? Obviously one way is affirmation, so how we started the video.
Yeah, literally. Like, just kind of cancelling out those negative thoughts quick. But I genuinely, couldn't give anything other than, I can't give you a set answer like this is what you do and you'll be best, because I'm working through this now, like genuinely working through this now, because my anxiety allows me to believe things that are 100% irrational at the time, but I believe it. I really believe it, and that affects my confidence. Like the way I believe in myself, the way I perceive myself to a T, like it's destroyed, it's non-existent. So then in those moments, and the only way to kind of maintain it for like a short period of time, because maintaining it for a long period of time is, you can't start something now and hope that it will last forever. You have to keep doing it consistently.
Yeah, I think that's what people forget, that it's ongoing. That's what happened to me. So when I first started like doing things for self-love and confidence, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm here now, that's it. And then I stopped, and then slowly the negative thoughts creep back, and I didn't even realize what was happening until like I'm actually like depressed, and I'm like, how did I get here?
Like, but wait, last week I was doing up affirmations, why is it not working now, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
But I'd say it's one is just bearing in mind that, like we said, it's a process. You can't just do the work for a little bit. It's the same with everything in life, but this specifically, you really cannot just do the work for a little bit and expect it to last forever. Because if you tackle that one main thing that's stressing to you or causing you to doubt yourself, then something else might appear or occur that causes a new type of self-doubt, a new type of like disruption to your self-image. So then I think it's just bearing in mind that it's a process and you have to continue doing little things. And then that's where like a daily routine comes in, like morning affirmations. Like I do this morning routine, not all the time because, you know, procrastination, but it's called SAVERS. So it's like an acronym or whatever. So S is just, you spend, the first bit is S, you spend 5 to 2 minutes just in pure silence in the morning before you touch your phone, before you go and like brainwash yourself with all this stuff of what you're supposed to look like. It's supposed to be like silence. You just sit there, stare at the wall, look outside your window. And then A is affirmations, like literally, even if you feel like a complete idiot. Because when I first started, I felt like a complete idiot. I'm like, why am I shouting I love myself so loud? My neighbors probably think I've bloody lost it. Like, I love myself. But like just one thing that you know really gets you. Like my morning thing is, I'm stronger than I think I am. I just tell myself that every morning, because that's what helps me tackle my anxiety when I go outside, to know that whatever I'm dealing with, I'm stronger than what it is. I'm stronger than how I perceive myself in that moment. So I just got to keep going. So then that defo kind of just, I don't know, like this guy I learned the Savers thing of, he's like a podcast host or whatever. He said to chant it 100 times every day, because apparently if you say something 100 times or more, it kind of just sticks in your head or something weird. But I think that's
literally, you start believing it. I don't know if we have time to sit down and say it 100 times, but like a good couple of times.
Plus, like someone might bring like, I don't know, an ambulance or something to come take you away if they hear you doing that shit. Especially if you live in like a house with like roommates or whatever. So then, I think just one time, maybe 3 times, whatever, just as you're walking to the bathroom, just say whatever it is you need to say to yourself that morning, whatever you need to hear that day. And then V is visualization. So whatever you're saying to yourself, you have to visualize it as well. You can't just say it and hope that it's all going to work out okay. Like you generally have to visualize yourself as you are stronger than you believe you are. Like I'll start visualizing myself as She-Hulk, or I'll visualize myself as like the most beautiful girl in the world, which is not accurate. None of them are. But me visualizing that kind of cements it in my head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, makes it real for you.
Literally. And then E, thank you. Alphabet. E, exercise. See, that one I've been lacking on. I can't lie. I don't exercise. However, like literally like the last 2 days, I started doing like just morning stretches, and I kind of count as exercise just because I'm moving my body other than just being in my bed.
I was just about to say, any way I can move my body, whether it's exercise, going for a walk, dancing, stretching, as long as I'm moving my body, I'm calm.
Literally dancing as well, I don't count that. Like when I have my little, it's almost like a ritual, like in the evening I just kind of like just be loving off myself and just dancing around like I'm fucking Beyonce or something, and then eventually reality hits in and I'm just like, okay bitch, just relax, just relax. But then those moments, that's literally where I'm working on myself. It's those moments where it creeps in after you're feeling yourself and it comes in again and you're like, oh, I'm not actually as good as I think I am, or why am I loving myself so much? That's where you have to literally just kind of be like, no, just like shut up, stop.
It's true. Literally, you know, there's times I couldn't be able to sleep, right? So as I'm lying down, I'm trying to go to sleep, my brain is just racing and I'm thinking about so many things. Yeah. And obviously it's like spiraling into this, oh my God, I didn't do enough today. I didn't do good enough today. I need to do better tomorrow. Then putting all this pressure on myself. And I'm literally like, Ebony, shut up. Like, just shut up and go to sleep. Because it's like, you're just talking for no reason.
Literally. And then the last two, wait, what is reading? That's it. Reading. So I know this seems unrelated, but honestly, if you're reading like a self-help book, if you're reading just a motivational quote, like I have this app on my phone that has motivational quotes just on the top of my homepage on my phone, and it like regenerates every 5-10 minutes. I literally sometimes, if I can't be asked to pick up my book, I'll just read that, or I'll read a couple of them. That, it stays with me, because honestly, I'll be outside, I'll be dealing with something. I have some weird altercation. I live in the suburbs here, so me walking out in a tracksuit with my slit eyebrow and that, I get looks, I get altercations. And sometimes I replay those quotes in my head. Like this old guy was walking up towards me, and I just slit my eyebrows, so I had a bit of a bop on me, you know, feeding myself. Like, okay. And then a bit of ghetto-ness came out. This guy walked up towards me, saw me, fear, and then just crossed the road like with his dog, and nearly like got like run over in the process of crossing the road. So that's when I was just like, okay, raw, like, oh, I look like a boy, I must be looking, I'm giving off too much masculine energy, And then I just started replaying a quote saying that, why do you care so much about what other people think, where you don't actually know what they think? So
exactly, like, we're just thinking that's
you're thinking about it, but you don't actually know. So then I replayed that over and over again. But I read that, like, I'm talking 8 hours before that incident happened. And it was in my head, because reading, you don't understand.
It literally helps.
Yeah.
Do you know what's weird? I have a morning routine. And like, as you go through the savers thing, I'm like, okay, so did I just know about it and not know that I knew about it? Because it literally is in line with everything that I do, just in a different order.
Yeah, you don't have to do it in that. I think the first 3, you have to kind of keep that order. It helps if you do, especially the silence. Like, you have to wake up first thing in the morning and just not touch your phone, not do something like that will just kind of cloud your mind.
The first thought in your head, you kind of have to choose that first thought. So sitting there in silence,
perfect.
What kind of day you're gonna have.
Literally.
And then what's the last S?
Scribe. So scribe, just writing. So I don't do it at the start of the day, but I'll write a daily journal, and that just kind of vent, especially for people that don't have someone to regularly talk to or vent to. Like, my friendship circle is very small, do you know what I mean? So then I have selected friends for who I go to about certain things. But when it's those kind of random thoughts of like, oh, today I just feel so fat, today like I haven't shaved my underarms in like 4 months, what is going on? I don't really want to go and talk to my guy friends about that. So,
it's true.
And then my girlfriends are busy, so then I'm just like, you know what, it's got to come out somewhere. So then,
do you know what? Sometimes I get that, you know, that anxiety that you don't want to bother people with what's wrong with you. So that's where journaling comes in for me, because I'm like, okay, cool. I know my friends care and my family care, and they say I can come and talk to them about anything, but I don't want to bother them. And even so, you can only care to a certain amount. So if you don't react the way that I want you to, I'm just gonna get more upset. So I'd rather go and journal and think through it myself.
Like,
and then I can show off as the best version of myself in these friendships and relationships.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, that also stems from anxiety, because it's overthinking. You're overthinking just a simple action of just going to someone and venting, which 9 times out of 10, they're probably here for it, but you're overthinking it to the point of like, like my major pressing irrational thought is that, someone's going to think that I'm like incompetent, like I'm not able to just be a independent woman and do my stuff. But no one's competent. Like, everyone's got their issues. The CEO of that oil company, what am I saying? No one's competent to that extent, because that idea we're creating of the perfect self, the perfect person that we want to be, it's not real. So then
exactly, we decide it.
Exactly. And like, as much as you have to kind of overcome and challenge those negative self-images that you've created, you also have to overcome and challenge those perfect self-images you create, because that's negative too. No one's perfect.
Exactly, because when you don't live up to it, that's when you kind of feel like, oh, maybe I'm not, and you back into your shell. But then if you kind of accept that I'm just human, then you can move on when you make mistakes.
Yeah. Like, I think this self-love stuff therefore coincides a lot with mental health, because everyone experiences some version of a mental health challenge, and that doesn't make you like disabled or like incompetent or something. It just makes you human. Like, our minds are so powerful, but at the same time they are vulnerable to a lot of influences around us. So then how can it just be 100% perfect all the time? It's not possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's true. Oh my gosh, this has been so good. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to speak on, but I'm really happy with everything that we discussed so far. So, you were speaking, and I was like, oh my God, Amy's going to make this thing blow through the roof.
A conclusion.
I was going to do, basically, I watched this guy called Jay Shetty. He has a podcast.
Yeah.
And at the end, he does like a quick fire round of 5 questions. But I think I'm just going to do one question and I'm going to steal it from him. So what's the best advice that you've ever received? Or what's the worst advice you've ever received? That's what he asks, and I literally love it.
Okay, because this is hard for me, because I actively, and not because I'm like, trying to be that like amazing person, but I find it fun to like read self-help books and watch self-help podcasts and listen to like people like Bob Proctor and like all of these like motivational people, and I'm dished out a lot of advice on a daily basis. I can't even, it's going to take me a sec, just give me a sec.
No, not even that you've given to people, but what did you hear or read that really made you think, wow, like I'm actually in control of, not even that you're in control of everything, but just something that really touched you, or had the opposite effect. So it can be the best or the worst.
This is what I was gonna say. It kind of has the opposite effect as much as it does give you control. So recently I was reading this book and it's called, what's it called? The Soul Art. Wait, hold on, I'm writing this. Like, okay, so I'm not promoting this. I'm not getting any money for this. It's not an advertisement. But
not yet.
The Soul Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And basically this guy, Mark Manson, he co-authored Will Smith's book. Will's book is amazing as well, but I'm in like halfway through. But the whole gist of what I'm understanding about how to live life freely, being true to yourself, and appreciating your self-image that you have of yourself, and also just kind of being happy in life, whatever happy is to you. So then what he's kind of said in like a whole is that in order to achieve happiness, like, so for starters, you have to think of life as a wheel of fortune. You have to think of life as it goes, whatever goes around kind of comes back around. So when there are good times, the bad times are on their way. When there are bad times, the good times are on their way. It just kind of always goes around, right? So in order to achieve happiness, you have to appreciate the struggle along the way to get to the happiness. You have to, whatever it is you do, can you like, I'm trying to whatever it is you do, if it's literally just your journey to self-love, your journey to appreciating yourself and self-discovery, you have to appreciate those moments where you wake up and you're looking at yourself and you're like, why the fuck do I look like that? Who said this was acceptable? Why does my hair look like that? My eyes are two different shapes. Like, you know what I mean? Those things, those moments, you have to appreciate that, because if you don't, then this idea that you can be happy all the time is not possible. And you can't have happiness without struggle. You can't have, like, you wouldn't know what
you're happy if you've never been sad.
Exactly. So then in order to like be happy all the time, which in some fucked up way is possible, you have to appreciate those moments where you're not happy. And if you're appreciating it, you're grateful for it because you know it's about to bear fruits of something bigger and better, then you're literally kind of some weird version of happy all the time. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. It reminds me of something that I read actually, and it said when you're going through good times, you know that bad times are coming, so you really appreciate the good time that you're in now. And then when you're going through bad times, you know that good times are coming, so then you don't have to stress about it because you know it's going to get better.
And I tried to give that advice to someone recently, and they just plain out said to me like, okay, but I've been in bad times for about 5 years of my life. And it's like that, I can relate to that. I've hit rock bottom and then found a new bottom and a new bottom and a new bottom. So then I'm thinking everyone's like, there's nowhere else but up from here. It's a lie. You can keep going down.
But then you can keep going down, and it depends on your mindset. So if you keep on saying, oh, things are so rubbish, and you don't believe that it's going to get better, and you keep on saying, how's it going to get better? It's only going to keep on getting worse.
Yeah. And I like to believe that like everyone has their time, and that's not just as in everyone in the world is going to get their chance at being a millionaire or CEO. Everyone's going to have their chance at being happy. Everyone's going to have their time. But
exactly, it depends on your own personal goals.
Literally, and until then, you have to enjoy those moments where you're struggling and you're working. Otherwise, you're just sad 90% of the time, and that small 10% of life, which is like, I don't know what, 3 times a year where you're genuinely blessed and happy, you're going to appreciate it, but you just know you can't appreciate that much because you know eventually it's about to go top-sided again. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
So yeah, that has to be the best advice I've heard, but also kind of the worst advice, because it just means that I'm in control of my happiness, which is great.
It gives you so much responsibility.
But yeah, it's like,
with great power comes great responsibility.
I don't trust myself that much.
You know, that's what I realized. You see, when I am like actually feeling down, and okay, see, when I go to do my uni work, I have this voice in my head telling me that I can't do it. Obviously, it's my own voice, but I'm like, oh, I just can't do it. And then I'm sitting there like, I mean, you know, it's just you saying that you can't do it. Like, so get over it. You actually have to go and do it. And I'm like, oh.
It's like no one walked up to you and said, like, Ebony, you're so shit, you can't do this. You are creating those thoughts. So then all you have to do is just change the tune, literally change the frequency, and just be like, okay, Ebony, we can do this. We know we can do this. We've done this before. So why aren't we doing it? That's the real question.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
And the hard part is actually going to get it done, but then you end up feeling better anyway. So
yeah,
you just do it.
Genuinely.
So yeah, that was really good. I'm really happy with this. I can stop recording now.
Please subscribe. You know, we'd like to hit 100 likes on this video for our next one. And
right. You know, this is like the first one. I have like 12 subscribers right now, but you never know. You don't know which video it's gonna be. So just you'll definitely be back. I will be
Thank
back. I'll just FaceTime you and be like, guys, we're going to do another Zoom today. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share with anyone who you feel like needs to hear it. And we'll be back with another one.